Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brandy. I'm a homeschooling mom of 4, and I'm talking about history today. So in undergrad, I double majored in politics and history. I absolutely love history because I love storytelling, and in my view, all history is a big story about the past. But who is telling the story is very, very much going to influence the quality of the history that you have, as well as the accuracy. And so it was very important for me to find a history curriculum that aligns with my personal beliefs, my cultural beliefs, and my spiritual beliefs. I am a Christian, but being a Christian makes it very difficult at times because we know that a lot of the texts that are made by Christian homeschoolers are created and curated with a very Eurocentric point of view. So what that means is instead of saying that Europeans discovered the Americas and during that time engaged in mutilation and slaughter and enslavement and sex trafficking, we glorify those past explorers and in a lot of ways vilify the Native Americans who were already here. So that is hugely problematic to me. I picked up this book, Story of America, From Columbus to the Alamo by Sonia Schaefer. She is a Charlotte Mason, Simply Charlotte Mason homeschooler. And I just want to read to you just a little bit from this because I picked this up at a used bookstore for like 50 cents, and I'm so glad that I did not buy this as my curriculum. So the chapter 1 is called Columbus, the Great Sailor, and she goes into how Christopher Columbus came to come to his voyage, how he thought he had landed in the Indies, and in fact, he had landed in the Americas. No mention of the mass enslavement of the native people that he spearheaded. No mention of the fact that he had a mandated quota amount of gold that he required the natives to bring to him on a daily and weekly basis. And if they didn't, he would brutally mutilate them, slaughter them, enslave them, rape, and pillage. And so at the end of the chapter, it said, it was his day of, so anyone can discover the Indies after I have shown him the way, says Columbus. It was his day of pride and triumph. Poor Columbus was soon to find out how Spain treated its benefactors. 3 times again he sailed in the New World, and once a base Spanish governor sent him back to Spain with chains upon his limbs. Those chains he kept hanging in his room till he died, and asked that they should be buried with him. They who had once given him every honor now treated him with shameful neglect. He had been ridden because the king and he had ridden beside the king and dined with the highest nobles of Spain, became poor, sad, and lonely. He died in 1506, 14 years after his great discovery. Then Spain, which had treated him so badly, began to honor his memory. But it came too late for poor Columbus, who had been allowed to die almost like a poor person, after he had made Spain the richest country in Europe. So the Spanish punished Columbus for his cruel and unusual treatment of the natives. And this is the reason why I say it is so important when you are buying history curriculum to know history. And if you don't know history, you have to research it from several points of view because this is highly problematic. I mean, even earlier in the very first chapter, she was calling Native Americans red-skinned natives. So this is so racist, the way that this is portrayed. She says, when the boats from the ships came to the shore and Columbus landed, clad in shining armor and bearing the great banner of Spain, the simple natives so the dumb natives, fell to the ground on their faces. They thought the gods had come from heaven to visit them. Some of the red-skinned natives wore ornaments of gold. They were asked by signs where they had got this gold and pointed south. Soon all were on board again. The ships once more spread their sails, and swiftly they flew southward before the wind. There is so much that is left out of this conversation. And it's honestly disgusting that she's calling them the simple natives, the dumb red-skinned natives. So this is off to a horrendous start. And so I want to share with you the history curriculum that I have chosen as a Christian, as a student of history, and hope that maybe it will inspire you to definitely not read this and do your research, okay? So the history spine that we are using is called History Quest, Early Times, and we're going to be going through the pre-modern, or the Paleolithic and the early civilizations, the Roman Empire, the Greek. And I like that this is told as a narrative. So it's told in a story form, because that's what history is. I have read through almost the entire book. I found absolutely nothing problematic in it. I found it very enjoyable to read. It comes with a study guide. And what I love about it, it is not a Eurocentric point of view. It is a global point of view where, yes, here Europe is important. The Greeks and the Romans, they are important in the establishment of civilizations. But we also have this book that I was asked to buy, which is called Ramayana, Divine Loophole, and it is about the ancient Indians and Hindu mythology. So we have Greek mythology, which everybody is very comfortable with, but this is Hindu mythology, and it is also a part of ancient history. It also has, you buy the Usborne Encyclopedia for World History, which has web links and beautiful illustrations. So we're excited to use that as part of the curriculum. And you go through some of the famous stories in ancient history. This is the Epic of Gilgamesh. So you're asked to buy all 3 of these books as you go through the units. And I also love that it asks you for a Hygge week, which is 1 week every few weeks. You sit down with your kids and you just read from storybooks about the cultures and the civilizations of the time. This one is called Chinese Children's Favorite Stories, Fable, Myths, and Fairy Tales from China. So I'm really excited because look how beautiful this is and how culturally inclusive this is of others, and understanding those ancient stories from around the world, not just the Greeks and the Romans. I do also have Myths and Legends, the children's book of myths and legends. I think most of these are Greek myths, because we do have quite a big Greek and Roman unit. I also have Delaire's Book of Greek Myths. This one is a classic, and this one's used by many homeschooling families. And so we will be picking and choosing what stories we're going to read out of there. I also like to just set up a table with books for my kids to thumb through as we're going through some of those units. I am very excited. This is not a part of the curriculum, but I found these. It's called Ancient Rome and Ancient Greece, Modern Rhymes about Ancient Times. And so this is something that they can use during their memory work to memorize some interesting facts. Like this says, Aesop's Fables, The Boy and the Wolf, The Fox and the Grapes. You've read them in books, you've seen them on tapes. Written by Aesop, an ancient Greek slave, they each have a lesson on how to behave. His dozens of fables have morals so true that though they're quite old, they sound just like new. So they can memorize these. I have it for ancient Rome and ancient Greek, and it's fun because we incorporate memory work in everything that we do, and so having them memorize that will help the history stick, I think, a little bit better. But yes, we are using History Quest. I think that was all the books that I had to buy for History Quest. I don't see anything else. And while we are on the subject of not having just a Eurocentric point of view, I want to share with you guys some of the stuff that we're going to be using for geography. We're only doing geography in a very laid back way once per week. And so, actually, I did not pull out the geography book. Oh, here it is. The Complete Book of Maps and Geography. I showed you guys this last year. We got about a third of the way through that before enrolling our kids in private school for the rest of the school year. We will not be doing that again. We're going to be going all the way through the school year this year. But this is the book that we're going to be finishing. And along with that, this book is called Passport to the World, and it is revised. But it just highlights a lot of countries and their culture, their food, their arts, their celebrations. And so as we go through our geography book, we're going to be doing that for a little bit of world geography. I also showed you in another video, A DK, A Life Like Mine. My kids love this book because it shows how children live in other countries around the world. I had bought another book that was highly problematic. I can't remember the title of it right now, but I showed it in one of my videos and I was so excited to use it. And it was just so, like, it was a mess. This book is called Here and There, and I love the illustrations in this. It is exploring the diversity of our world's planet through color, and it shows all of these bright, beautiful, and vibrant pictures of places from around the world. And so I think what we'll do is we'll pick a country from this book, which is called More Fun Around the World. It says New Hope Publishers published this, and I can't recommend it because I have not used it yet. But what I liked about it from just flipping through was that basically the first continent that we go over is different countries in Africa, and they have games, different crafts that you can do. It talks about the housing and the people, and it also gives a quick recipe that you can make. And so we have the continent of Africa here, but then it goes into some of the countries on the continent like Kenya, Ethiopia, Namibia, and then it goes to the continent of Asia. And so you can make recipes from this, you can do crafts from this, and it's a very simple book. And when I was looking through, it had very simple ingredients. I got this for 25 cents today at McKay's. So I'm going to be using this with my other geography stuff. I forgot one little geography book, and that is Me on the Map. My kids can read this one independently, and I really like it because it shows scale. It starts off saying, this is me in my house, this is me in my neighborhood, this is me on my street, this is me in my city, this is me on my country map, and this is me on the globe. And so this is a great book for introducing your kids to scale when it comes to geography. We're not studying American history this year, but as we read about Africa and as we explain what happened in our history this school year, I'm going to be choosing a few of the folk tales from The People Could Fly, American Black Folk Tales told by Virginia Hamilton. Some of these are a little scary, and then some of these are perfect. I've already read through quite a few of them. So I just love the illustration on this. Like I don't know. It just makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. The last thing I'll talk to you guys about very briefly is what we're going to be using for Bible. So for the last 2 years, we have been working through these two books, Indescribable 100 Devotions and How Great Is Our God 100 Devotions by Louis Giglio. These are great. They fuse Bible verses with science. But my daughter specifically, after going to a Christian school for a time, asked specifically if I could incorporate Bible. 365 bedtime Bible stories. We're going to be reading this. We're also going to be doing this together. It is from Abeka, and hopefully it's okay. But I found this for 5 cents, and I thought, it's literally just the Bible. It's the Bible story written, Bible stories and Bible verses written in basically very simple text so that 1st through 3rd grade students can read it. I got one for each one of my kids, and so every morning we will probably be reading a story out of this. We'll alternate between this, and another one. Found it. It is the Children's Bible in 365 days. And so this is just like literally a 1-page story. And what I do like is this is more of a read aloud where it actually has the names of the places and the people. It's not just simple Bible stories. It's like the real stories with the real people. You know how sometimes they really, really, really simplify it? This is not that. So this is real Bible stories, and we're going to be going through these. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like it if you liked it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.